The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on a diamond with a golden glove. Daddy with me in the cheap seats above, saying, boy, keep your eye on the ball. The crack of the bat, the stadium's roar. We were up on our feet.
Good afternoon and welcome to Sean Williams Field on the campus of Marshalltown Community College. Andy Jennings with you on the Tiger Sports Network as we get ready for the final two regular season games of the year between MCC and Indian Hills, and still a lot on the line. Indian Hills currently has a one-game lead for second place, so if the Tigers sweep the doubleheader here today, they would take second place in the conference and get to be the home team next Friday when these two teams will get together again for the Region 11 tournament. So it should be a couple of big games here today. Yesterday, Indian Hills won Game 1 9-6 and Game 2 5-2. MCC had errors hurt them in Game 1, and then Game 2 just couldn't come through with the big hit. Here's the starting lineup today for Indian Hills. They'll be going against Colton Gonerman on the mound. Luis Jimenez will lead off and play shortstop. Dylan Nelson's in right field. He'll bat second. Oliver Basabi will hit third at second base. Wyatt Olson is the cleanup hitter. He'll play first base. Jacob Rhinesmith is the left fielder. He's the fifth batter. Noah Renau is the designated hitter. He'll bat sixth. Lane Harvey will hit seventh and play third base. Grant Walker will hit eighth and catch. And Ryan Shaw will be the center fielder, and he'll bat ninth. So as we get ready for this one, Colton Gonerman's numbers on the season. Coming into this one, he is 6-1 with a 3.26 ERA and 49 2/3 innings. He's allowed 40 hits, 22 runs, 18 earned runs. He's walked 16 and struck out 53. So it'll be Luis Jimenez leading it off for Indian Hills. He was on fire yesterday, collecting 7 hits in the 2 games. So he's kind of the key for MCC. You got to keep him off the base paths to start this ball game. So Jimenez will stand in for the Falcons. As they come in now, they're sitting at 24-27, MCC 29-20. And the opening pitch is off the plate, a ball. So Jimenez takes outside for ball one. It is sophomore day here at MCC. We will get you some of the sophomores' names that aren't playing when we get time, as there's a ground out to third, and Jimenez is retired on 2 pitches. That's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Dylan Nelson. He hit a big 2-run homer in game number 2 yesterday when Ceballos was really settling in. His 2-run homer made it 5-2. MCC loaded the bases in the 7th, but was unable to bring him home. Actually loaded the bases 4 times yesterday in 4 innings and left them loaded. And Nelson swings and fouls that down the right field side. And he's behind in the count, 0-1. Another nice day for baseball. The wind's blowing a little bit. It's supposed to warm up as the day goes. And that's just off the outside corner for ball one. So 1-1 count here on Nelson, a .355 hitter. He comes in as the second best hitter for Indian Hills, and he swings and shoots that one towards the MCC dugout and foul. So 1-2 now on Nelson. Gonerman looking for his first strikeout. He struck out 53 on the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He just misses high and outside a ball. Tried to get Nelson to chase. Indian Hills does a pretty good job of battling at the plate, fouling off pitches. They made it pretty hard on the Tiger pitching yesterday. And that misses outside, ball 3. And the count is full at 3-2 on Dylan Nelson. Nelson has hit 4 home runs, and he has 33 RBIs. Here's the 3-2 pitch with 1 out in the top of the first, and that's off the plate, ball 4. So Nelson draws a 1-out walk. And Indian Hills has a runner for Basabe. Nelson over at first base has 11 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. So don't be surprised if he's running. Indian Hills as a team has stolen 66 bases. So Basabe will stand in, the second baseman, with 1 out, and he'll take low for ball 1. Basabe on the season, a .357 hitter. He's actually their top hitter average-wise, at least of the hitters that have played in enough games. He's played in 50 of Indian Hills games. He's got 15 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 homers. As checking the runner is Gonerman. Around the outfield for MCC from left to right, Ceballos is in left field, Brian Ventura the center fielder, and Logan Holtz is the right fielder. 1-0 count here on Basabe. Leading from first is Nelson. They throw over one more time. Around the infield for the Tigers, Luis Duran is the third base. Manny Lopez is at shortstop. Bennett Lopez, the second baseman. Over at first base is Brock Hopwood, and behind the plate, Hunter Embre. On the mound is Colton Gonerman. The 1-0 count to Basabe. Swings through the pitch. The throw down, it's on the line, but it looked like Embre had trouble getting it out of his glove, and he's saying it was interference on the batter as he looked like there was some contact made, and now Rich Greif is going to come out on Basabe's swing. It looked like there could have been some contact with Embre, which forced him to double pump and allowed Nelson to steal second base. Well, they're arguing for interference against the batter, Basabe, but we'll see if the umpire, as Greif has come out a couple times already in this series to discuss something with the umpires. And now they're going to discuss it. The base ump coming in to see if he had a better angle. Scoreless here in the top of the first between MCC and Indian Hills. A big game in the conference. If Marshalltown wins both games today, they would get to play, well, they wouldn't play at home, but they'd be the home team in the game played on Friday. As Iowa Western has clinched the number 1 seed, Muscatine is going to be the number 4 seed. These two teams jockeying for the 2nd and 3rd seed, and they are going to stay safe. And now Embre is going to come out and talk to Colton Gonerman quickly. So 1 out, 1-1 count here on Basabe, as it was his follow-through that Embre thought interfered with his throw down to second. But the umps disagree, and Nelson will lead from second. So a runner in scoring position for Indian Hills here in the first inning. Gonerman coming after Basabe. That's in the dirt. Embre blocks it, and now a 2-1 count on Basabe. He's got 61 hits, 15 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 home runs. He's also driven in 38. He is an RBI guy at the plate. He's got a runner in scoring position. Here's the 2-1 pitch. He swings and misses at the, looked like a changeup. And it's a 2-2 count. Basabe struck out 27 times. He's walked 25. Nelson reached base via the walk. And now a 2-2 count here on Basabe. One out here in the first. He swings and bloops it down the right side, but that's going to be out of play. And we'll stay 2-2. So 2-2 count here on Oliver Basabe on sophomore day from Sean Williams Field. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounded to third. Duran Fields looks the runner back and throws it away over Hopwood's head. Now the runner is going to hold at third, and he's still holding as Hopwood had trouble with it. That'll be an error on Luis as he threw that one right over the first baseman's head. Hopwood, and now runners on second and third on the error. And that'll bring up the big bat of Wyatt Olson. He didn't do a whole lot of damage yesterday, but he's very capable of doing a lot of damage. He's leading in home runs with 11. He's got 46 RBIs, and he's got 2 out in scoring position for him. He swings and grounds this one foul. And the count is 0-1. Well, a tough start here for Gonnerman as Duran had an easy ground ball, and the ball just slipped out of his hand and overthrew Hopwood. And that's high for a ball. And Duran's been pretty good defensively for the Tigers. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. In this series, MCC has had trouble with their defense and making errors. They had 6 in game 1 yesterday. And then another one as Olson swings through that. Well, they had 7 errors on the day yesterday and already 1 here today. So 1 and 2 on Olson. A strikeout here would be big. With Rhinesmith coming up. He's on deck for the Falcons. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He just missed the outside corner. A nice crowd on hand here today. Wanted that call. And so did Gonnerman. He just missed off the outside part of the plate. So now the count is even at 2-2. As Indian Hill's making him work here in the first inning. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses and strikes him out. So Olson down swinging. That's the second out of the inning, and now Rhinesmith will bat with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. He's a .272 hitter. He's driven in 20. He's been pretty aggressive in the at-bats yesterday. He was swinging early in the count, so might be a guy you throw a first pitch breaking ball to instead of first pitch fastball. See what Gonnerman does. He takes just high. And 1-0 here on Rhinesmith. The left fielder for the Falcons with 2 runners in scoring position. And he takes the strike on the outside corner. Over at third base is Nelson. He walked, and then Basabi reached on the air. And that's in there for strike 2. So Gonnerman 1 strike away from getting out of this first inning jam without allowing a run. He's already struck out 1, so he's got 54 on the year. And just missed the outside. Gonnerman was already headed to the dugout. And the ump says no, so we'll go 2-2. This is the 3rd straight batter that has gotten into a 2-2 count. Well, Olson did too, and then he struck out. There's the 2-2 pitch. It's grounded towards second. Lopez fields. He'll have an easy play at first, and the first half inning is over. So Rhinesmith grounds out and leaves 2, and the error doesn't hurt MCC in the first inning. So no hits in that first inning. A couple men reach on the air, but nothing to show for it as Indian Hills leaves 2. And MCC will be coming to the plate here in the bottom of the first inning. And they'll face Michael Starcevich for Indian Hills. Starcevich coming into this one has a 7.68 ERA. He's 4-3 in 41 innings. He's allowed 47 hits, 37 runs, 35 earned runs. He struck out 45 and walked 19. He's also allowed 7 big flies. So Starcevich on to pitch. Here's what the lineup looks like for MCC. Bennett Lopez will lead it off. He'll be followed by Manny Lopez and then Logan Holtz. Diogen Ceballos is back in the lineup today as he didn't hit yesterday, which was a big bat out of MCC's lineup in both of those games. Even though he pitched, he didn't hit. Normally he pitches and hits, but he is back in there hitting today. He'll be in the cleanup spot playing left field. Luis Duran will bat 5th and play third base. Joel Rosauer is the designated hitter. He'll hit 6th. Hunter Embray, the catcher, will bat 7th. Brock Hopwood, the first baseman, will hit 8th. And Brian Ventura, the center fielder, will bat ninth. So Bennett Lopez will lead it off. He had a tough day yesterday as he just couldn't get anything to fall in for him. So expect him to turn it around and have a better day here this afternoon against Starcevich. So scoreless between MCC and Indian Hills. A key game. If Indian Hills wins this one, they would clinch the second seed in the conference. And they'd have a lot of momentum going into that game. Not just to try and win the second seed of your MCC. Now that you have to play Indian Hills again on Friday, you don't want them to have all this momentum as Indian Hills has won 8 games in a row. And they're feeling pretty good about themselves, even though their record isn't as good as MCC's, as that's in there for a strike. Their conference record is 1 game better, but they've started to play well here at the end of the year. Lopez swings and fouls that off. He's behind in the count 0-2. Bennett is a .323 hitter. He's struck out 16 times. He's walked 20. He'll have to battle here behind in the count. Starcevich has struck out 45. This is a ground ball to second. Basavi fields, throws to first, and there's one away. Now Lopez grounds out to second, and that'll bring up Manny Lopez, as he had a chance to do some damage with the bases loaded yesterday, but popped out to first in the final inning. So we'll see if he can get him off to the right foot. That looks like it's going to get through, and it gets by a lunging Basabi into right field for a base hit. So Lopez on with a 1-out single. For a split second there, I thought Basabi might be able to run that down, but it just shot right past him. A good piece of hitting by Manny Lopez on the first pitch. And that'll bring up Logan Holtz, a .377 hitter. On deck is Diogen Ceballos. Lopez a good lead at first. And Holtz swinging first pitch, and he fouls that one straight back. A good cut there from Holtz, just a little bit under it. Logan has 60 hits on the year, 15 doubles, 3 triples, and 8 home runs. And he is one of the sophomores playing his last games here at Sean Williams Field, as the overthrow on the pickoff play by Starcevich. So that's an E1, which will send Lopez down to second. And now Holtz has a runner in scoring position. He's driven in 37. So MCC can get an early lead. Indian Hills failed when they had 2 runners in scoring position. With only 1 out, MCC was able to get out of it, as that's in the dirt for a ball. Donnerman struck out Olson and then got Rhinesmith the ground out to second. Now the Tigers have a runner on second with 1 out. So Starcevich stares in, checks Lopez at second. Now coming to the plate, it's swung and hit back into center field. Shaw's going to come in a couple steps, and he'll make the catch, and then he'll hit the cutoff man, and Manny Lopez will stay put. So Holtz flies out to center, and that's out number 2. That'll bring up Ceballos. He's hitting .358 on the season. He's driven in 25, 6 home runs. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Ceballos trying to give MCC the early lead. Manny Lopez out at second. He hit a single into right field and got to second base on the throwing error by the pitcher, as that's off the plate a ball. He tried to pick off Lopez at first and just launched it over Olson's head down the right field line, and allowed Manny to get to second. He's still there after the Holtz flyout. Starcevich's pitch is going to stay outside. Now 2-0 count here on Ceballos. Looks like a slider there. It started off the corner and then broke straight down. So a 2-0 count. Ceballos looking for something he can hammer. Starcevic to the plate, and that's on the outside corner, a strike. Pretty good location on the 2-0 pitch. Ceballos looking for something middle in, and that was right on the outside corner. So 2-1 count here on the Tigers left fielder. Luis Duran on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. He swings and misses at the breaking ball. Now the count is even at 2-2. That ball started on the outer half and just kept going outside and fooled Ceballos. So 2-2 count here with 2 outs in the first inning. Here's the pitch, and he lays off that one. Same pitch. And the count is full at 3-2. So 3-2 count. We'll see where Starcevic goes. Does he throw a fastball or does he come back with another breaking ball to Ceballos? Lopez out at second. He'll get a jump, and Ceballos swings through the high fastball and strikes out. So MCC gets their first hit, but nothing to show for it as they leave one here in the first, and we'll head into the top of the second inning. Coming up for Indian Hills will be Noah Renau, Lane Harvey, and Grant Walker. Renau, the designated hitter. Earlier today, MCC honored 16 sophomores who were playing their last game with the Tigers here at home. You have Bennett Lopez, one of the sophomores. He's playing in the game. Brian Ventura, Logan Holtz, other sophomores that were honored this morning. Trevor Schwartz, Wyatt Stark, a left-handed pitcher. Schwartz, a right-handed pitcher. Might see him pitch out of the bullpen sometime here today. Number 13, Elijah Wood, is probably going to be the next starting pitcher in game number 2. Number 17, Colton Gonerman, is on the mound right now for MCC, so he's pitching his last home game for the Tigers. Colton Blackford, another relief pitcher you could see, and we'll get to some of the other names of sophomores for MCC playing their final 2 home games here at Sean Williams Field. So Renau will lead it off, the designated hitter. He's a .274 hitter on the year. Gonerman got into a little bit of trouble. He walked Nelson, then the throwing error by Duran, but he was able to get the strikeout of Olson and got the ground out from Rhinesmith to end the inning. Now he falls behind 2-0 to Renau. Noah's got 26 hits. 4 of them have been doubles. He has hit 1 home run. He's played in 33 games for the Falcons. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's on the outside corner, a strike. A good fastball there from Gonerman. And he's coming right back with the 2-1 pitch. This one a little bit further outside. And it's 3-1. So Renau, you don't want to walk the leadoff hitter here. Lane Harvey's coming up for the Falcons, their third baseman. And Renau swings 3-1. Duran scoops, throws to first, and there's one away. So Duran throws out Renau on the 3-1 pitch as he chops it into the ground. And Duran makes the play, and that's one away. Harvey will bat now. He's a .256 hitter. He'll stand in from the right side with 1 out here in the second inning. And he takes just a bit high for a ball. So 1-0 now on Harvey. And that one's in there for a strike. So now 1-1 on the Falcons' third baseman, Lane Harvey. On the season, he has 32 hits. 7 of those hits are doubles with 1 home run. He swings and drives this one to right. Holtz will take a couple steps back. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. So Harvey hit that one on a line, but right at Holtz, and that's 2 away. That'll bring up Grant Walker, the catcher, hitting 175 on the season. So Gonnerman, if he can get this out here, will get through with a 1-2-3 inning. And that's in there for strike 1, right on the outside corner with that fastball. He jumps ahead of Walker. And now Walker swings and misses. That appeared to be a changeup, or might have been a sinker. Just kind of shot straight down, and Walker swung through it and just misses off the outside corner. As Gonnerman really picking up the tempo here with Walker at the plate. He usually works pretty quickly, and he just misses high there. So 2-2 count now on Grant Walker. Now he'll slow down the tempo just a little bit. Walker around the mound. Now he's ready to throw the 2-2 pitch here with 2 outs in the second. And Walker calls time. So Walker going to make Gonnerman wait. And now he's ready to go. And he misses upstairs for ball 3. Now Walker, not the guy you want to walk, only hitting 175. Scholl on deck is a 235 hitter. And now a 3-2 pitch coming up to Grant Walker. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that's fouled straight back. A pretty good swing there for Walker on the outside corner fastball. And the count will remain full. Scoreless here between Indian Hills and MCC. And he just missed high. That's the second time Gonnerman has walked. He took about 3 steps off the mound and was headed into the dugout. And the umpire says that's a little bit high. And that's ball 4. So that's the second walk. That'll bring up Brian Shaw. He's wore about 2 different numbers this week. He wore 7 yesterday. His helmet says he's number 10, and now he's wearing number 45. So 2 outs here in the second. Walker over at first base. He's a catcher, so wouldn't think you'd see him running. There's a ground ball to second. Lopez will flip to Manny Lopez, and the Indian Hills half inning is over. So Scholl grounds out, but Indian Hills does get through the orders. That means the top of the order will be coming up when they bat again in the third. They do leave another runner, so they've now left 3 runners on base through 2 innings. Coming up for MCC in the bottom of the second, it'll be Luis Duran, Joel Rosauer, and Hunter Embray. So Duran, Rosauer, and Embray coming up for MCC. Duran had a nice game 2 yesterday. He had a couple hits. He's really good at driving the ball to right field. Just kind of going with the pitch and flipping it by the second baseman. He did that a couple times. In yesterday's ball game, coming in at .345 on the season. Other sophomores that were honored for the Tigers this morning include Angel Rosario, number 29 Austin Gridley, a relief pitcher. And then there's a couple of starters that are playing in the lineup here. Hunter Embray, who will be batting coming up, the catcher. Of course, has had a great career for MCC. Casey Dorout, another catcher. Tsubasa Mariyama, a right-handed pitcher. Brett Breda, an infielder. And then Thomas Sanchez, a left-handed pitcher. And Ryan Flynn, a right-handed pitcher, were all honored before today's game. It was a nice ceremony for the sophomores here at MCC. Now the Tigers trying to get this one and have a chance at second place. They got to win this one first to tie Indian Hills. And then they'd have to win game 2. They have to sweep the doubleheader today to get second place in the conference. That's a 1-0 count. Now that one stays at the knees for a strike. So Duran will lead it off. He'll be followed by Rosauer and then Embray. He swings, drives it through the left side, and that's a base hit. Now Luis Duran is keeping that bat red hot right now for the Tigers as he leads off with another single. He's got his average up to 345, and that'll bring up Joel Rosauer, who has been hitting for power lately. He hit a home run yesterday. He also hit a home run versus Ellsworth on Thursday. He had a great game 1 for MCC. He fouls that off into the glove for a strike. 0-1 count here on Rosauer. His average is up to 320. The designated hitter here. Duran with a good lead at first. Starcevich coming to the plate. That's a curveball, and it stays outside. The count is even at 1. As Walker's staring into his dugout to get the sign. And Starcevich has it. And Rosauer swings and fouls that one out of play down the left side. He's behind in the count 1-2. Joel struck out 33 times. He's walked 16. He's got 31 hits. 10 of those have been doubles and 3 home runs. So Duran leading from first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Tried to get Rosauer to chase the high fastball, but he lays off. And the count is even at 2-2. Hunter Embray on deck. Luis Duran led off the inning with a single through the left side of the infield. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Rosauer down swinging as he strikes out. And what appeared to be a changeup of some sort could have just kind of dipped right down, and Rosauer swung over the top of it. So that'll bring up Hunter Embray with 1 out in the inning. The Tigers catcher is hitting .221 as Starcevich throws that one low. And 1-0 here on Embray. Embray does have the power to make it 2-0. He's hit 6 home runs. As Duran a good lead at first. Starcevich checks him, now comes to the plate and misses low. So 2-0 on Hunter Embray. He'll be looking for something middle in that he can drive. Starcevich taking his time. Now he'll step back on the mound. Pitching out of the stretch. Brock Hopwood on deck for the Tigers. And the 2-0 pitch is grounded towards second. Basabe knocks it down, tries to spin and throw, and it's not in time. So an infield hit for Embray. And it might be an error. We'll have to wait and see. Duran goes to second. And that is an error, so it'll be an E4 on Basabe. That's another error on him this weekend. He had one yesterday. And that'll bring up Brock Hopwood with a chance to do something here in the second inning. He takes on the outside corner strike. As Hopwood stands in. Runners on first and second. Duran had a single, and then Embray reached on an error. This ball's popped up into foul territory. Olsen ranging over, and he's not going to get there. Looked like he might have lost that ball because he was kind of ranging over slowly, and then maybe the wind started to push it off one way, and he took off after it, and then couldn't get to it in front of the MCC dugout. Another opportunity here for Hopwood, see if he can make the Falcons pay for not being able to get that foul ball. The 0-2 count. Hopwood hitting 100 in 20 at-bats. He swings and misses for strike 3. So Hopwood down swinging. Second strikeout of the inning, third overall for Starcevich, and that'll bring up Brian Ventura. Ventura has his average up to 306. He's got 5 home runs and 31 RBIs on the season. Starcevich coming to the plate, and he throws a high curveball. And it's 1-0. So 1-0 count here on Ventura. Trying to give the Tigers the lead here in the second inning. MCC has out-hit Indian Hills 2-0. And Starcevich paints the corner there. Right across the knees for that strike. That's the pitch he's been trying to hit, but he's been throwing it a little bit too low. That time he was able to get it right where he wanted to, and now he'll step off. As Duran jogs back to second. Duran led off the inning with a single. And Embre reached on the error by Basabi. And Hopwood struck out. And now Ventura is down in the count 1-2. A 1-2 count here on Ventura. Another one of the sophomores for the Tigers here on Sophomore Day. Trying to come up big here in the second inning. And time is called. So 1-2 count with 2 outs. Duran leading from second, Embre from first. Starcevich trying to keep them both right there. He checks the runner. Here's the pitch. It's a high fastball. And Ventura down swinging. Starcevich strikes out the side. And he struck out 4 through 2 innings. So MCC gets a hit. Another error. But they leave 2 after 2. So we'll head into the top of the third. We got a pitcher's duel going on currently between MCC and Indian Hills, as Gonnerman has his good stuff going, and Starcevich so far has been matching him pitch for pitch in this ball game. So we're still scoreless as we head into the top of the third. Indian Hills looking for their first hit, and it'll be Luis Jimenez to lead it off. He'll be followed by Dylan Nelson and Oliver Basabi. Indian Hills has had 3 base runners so far, 2 walks and 1 reached on an error. But other than that, no hits. So Gonnerman back to the mound. Jimenez has his average up to 329 after yesterday, where he was just hitting everything for base hits. As we get ready to start this top of the third inning. So far, Gonnerman has struck out 1. He got into a little bit of trouble in that first, as Indian Hills had runners on second and third with just 1 out. And he was able to pitch around the jam. He got a strikeout of Olson, and Rhinesmith grounded out. And that's really the only trouble he's been in the second inning. He did allow a walk to Grant Walker, but no damage. And it'll be Jimenez to lead it off as we start the third inning. So Jimenez will stand in, the shortstop. He grounded out to third his first time. He takes inside a ball. A 1-0 on Jimenez. He takes upstairs, ball 2. You don't want to put Jimenez on with his speed. He steals bases. He's got 17 stolen bases, so he's one of the guys you got to keep off the base paths if you want to beat this Indian Hills team. There's the 2-0 pitch, and that misses high for ball 3. Especially you don't want to walk him. Jimenez has walked only 7 times. He doesn't walk a lot. He's a pretty aggressive hitter. He's got a 3-0 count in his favor here. And that's on the outside corner. Jimenez was about 4 steps down to first. Already tossed his bat aside. And the umpire called him back, and it's a 3-1 count. So 3-1 here on Jimenez. Nobody out, top of the third. Now he swings, ground ball to third. Duran picks, throws, and Jimenez is retired. Well, that's the second time he's grounded out to third. And that's a big first out. Keeping him off the base paths is huge because he can, even if he just gets on first, he can steal second and third. So that'll bring Dylan Nelson to the plate. He reached on a walk. Stole second base, got to third on the error, but then he was held there after the ground out and strikeout. Well, it was a strikeout and then a ground out, as Gonnerman misses upstairs. The 1-0 count. That ball is swung and fouled straight back. And the count is even at 1-1. Nelson, a .355 hitter for Indian Hills. He has hit a home run in this series. He had a 2-run homer. Now ground this one down the right field line and foul. And he's behind in the count, 1-2. Donnerman looking for his second strikeout. Nelson has struck out 17 times. Donnerman trying to get his 55th on the year. And here's the 1-2 pitch, a good pitch on the inner half. That just broke down and in on Nelson. He fouls it off. That's the type of pitch there where you're just not going to be able to keep it fair. You try to pull your hands in quick and get the barrel of the bat to it, but with that location, it's going to be hard to keep that fair pulling it. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's inside. Almost hit him. So Gonnerman staying inside on Nelson. Maybe he's going to try and set him up for a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate here. Trying to not let Nelson get his hands extended. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He swings and lines this one to left center. Ceballos settling under it, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. So Nelson flies out to left, and there's 2 away, and that'll bring up Basabe. He reached on an error by Duran.
Number 6, Oliver Basabe.
So Basabe will stand in with 2 outs here in the third. He swings through that fastball. Gonnerman elevated that pitch just a little bit and threw it right by Basabe. So 0-1. And that misses outside. And now 1-1 count here on Basabe. He worked the count to 2-2 before he hit a ground ball to third. And then Duran had the errant throw. He swings at the inside pitch and misses for strike 2. So Basabe down in the count, 1-2. He's struck out 27 times on the season. Gonnerman trying to get through this inning with a 1-2-3. He peers over his glove. Here's the pitch, and he misses outside for a ball. Trying to get Basabe to chase. And the count is even at 2-2. Indian Hills has worked a number of 2-2 counts and even 3-2 counts, and just missed as Embry Tried to frame that one. He brought the glove back in just a touch, but couldn't get the call, and now the count is full with Wyatt Olson on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging, and no, he fouled it off. Or no, he is out. He didn't get a piece of it. And Basabe down swinging. I thought he might have tipped it, but he did not. And he tried to run because the drop third strike, but he is retired, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Tigers. So MCC coming to bat here in the bottom of the third. It'll be the top of the order. Bennett Lopez, Manny Lopez, and Logan Holtz to face Michael Starcevich, who has already struck out 5-4 in the game. He struck out the side in the second inning. And the Tigers will have to try and get something going here in this third, as they're now trailing Indian Hills by a game in conference play. MCC coming in at 29-20. The Tigers have been pretty good on the road. They're 20-10 on the road, 6-8 here at home. And they're going to have to win some games basically on the road or neutral. On Friday is when the Region 11 tournament gets started for MCC. And should be very interesting to see how they perform down at Centerville. They'll have to face the host team, Indian Hills, in the first game, but they have beaten Indian Hills. They took 3 of 4 from in Centerville. And Indian Hills won the first 2 here. And this is game number 3 of the series. So we're scoreless as we start the bottom of the third. MCC has out-hit Indian Hills 2-0 as Lopez takes a strike. Bennett grounded out to second, his first time up. Now he falls behind in the count, 0-1. He swings to chopper to third. Harvey picks, long throw across. He threw it away. Lopez going down for second, and he is going to be in there standing on the error. So an error against Harvey, and that'll be an E5 against Lane Harvey. As he rushed that throw, it was a little chopper down the third baseline. He rushed the throw. And Manny Lopez will come to the plate with a runner in scoring position. He shows bunt, and it's foul. Trying to get Bennett Lopez over to third. He's going to sacrifice. Unable to do it on that occasion. So 0-1 here on Manny Lopez. At the very least, you got to get that runner to third with 1 strike. See if the Tigers leave the bunt on. Lopez had a single into right field his first time up. That's the type of swing you want to see here. A ground ball towards that right side gets the runner over, and he'll take, and Bennett Lopez gets back as Walker thought about throwing behind him down at second. So 1-1 here on Lopez. A .409 hitter. Right here he's been asked to sacrifice the first 2 times. See if they keep it on the 1-1 pitch. He takes inside, didn't show a bunt that time. And it's a 2-1 count. Indian Hills has already made 3 errors. They've made an error each inning. MCC unable to take advantage of it yet, but a chance. There's the pickoff throw, and he's out at second, but I don't know. I thought he got his hand back in there, but he's not arguing it. And Bennett Lopez picked off second base. So a 1-6 out on the pickoff play. He just got too far off the bag. They had Jimenez run behind him a couple of times and didn't throw it. And then they finally did throw it and picked him off. And now Lopez, ground ball deep in the hole. Jimenez uncorks the throw. Olson's going to come off the bag, and that'll be an infield single. So instead of having runners on first and second, Lopez picked off, and you don't know if Manny Lopez would have swung away on that 2-1 count, but either way, the Tigers have a runner at first on Starcevich, and Holtz at the plate. He flew out to center his first time up, but now he takes a strike. Manny Lopez now 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Ceballos coming up on deck with just 1 out in the inning, as Holtz swings through that one for strike 2. So 0-2 count now on Logan Holtz. He's struck out just 10 times on the year, so he doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play most of the time. Behind 0-2 to Starcevich. And he takes outside a ball. So 1-2 count now, as Holtz stands back in. As Starcevich has already struck out 4. As Holtz pops it straight up in the air. Walker coming back to give it a look, and he's not going to have room. And we'll stay 1-2. So 1-2 count. Lopez over at first. He's stolen 3 bases, been caught once. I wouldn't think he'd be running here, but you never know. Starcevich checks him. Now coming to the plate. Holtz ground ball to short. Jimenez fields to Basabe on to first, and that's a double play. So Holtz grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. And the inning is over. What started as a promising inning. Bennett Lopez to second on the air. He's picked off second base. Lopez singles, but then Holtz rounds into a 4-6-3 double play, or 6-4-3 double play. So we'll head in to the top of the 4th inning. We'll take our first break. Scoreless between MCC and Indian Hills. I'm Andy Jennings, and you're watching MCC Baseball on the Tiger Sports Network.
Hi, my name is Juan Rafael Puente. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I play pitcher and I'm freshman.
My name is Thomas Sanchez. I'm a left-handed pitcher from Auburn, Wisconsin. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Ryan Flynn, right-handed pitcher, freshman from Hartley, Iowa.
Hi, my name is Juan Carlos. I'm from Dominican. I am pitching. I am freshman.
JD Barr, South Sioux City, Nebraska, right-handed pitcher, sophomore.
Welcome back to Sean Williams Field as we start the top of the 4th inning. MCC and Indian Hills all scoreless. Indian Hills has had a few base runners, but the Tigers have had a good pitching performance so far from Gonerman, and neither team has really got too much going. As that pitch will miss outside, as Olson will lead it off. So Wyatt Olson, a dangerous hitter, takes outside ball 2. So 2-0 here on Olson. Not the type of guy you want to fall behind and have to throw a fastball to. Gonerman checks. Here's the pitch. He swings. He pops it straight up into the air. Hopwood coming on. Now Embry looking for it, and he's got it right in front of the MCC dugout for out number 1. So Olson pops out. As the wind can play tricks on you, as when Hopwood ran in, looked like he thought he saw where the ball was, and Embry was settled under it. And now Rhinesmith will bat. He grounded out to second, leaving 2 runners in scoring position in the 1st inning. And he lines the first pitch he sees into center. Ventura coming on. He'll make a running catch. So Ventura makes a nice running catch as he got a good break on that ball. As Ryan Smith lines out to center. So 2 up, 2 down. Gonerman has retired 5 in a row. Actually 6 in a row. And he's coming after Renau with an inside corner fastball. And strike 1. So Renau down in the count. He grounded out to third his first time up. He takes this pitch off the plate for a ball. So the count is even at 1-1. And that misses high. And 2-1 now on Renau. Gonerman has walked 2. Only struck out the 1. He struck out 2 and walked 2. And that ball is hammered down the right side, but it's going to be out of play. And we're even at 2-2. So a 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Gonerman trying to get back-to-back 1-2-3 innings here against Indian Hills. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and he misses high and tight for a ball. And the count is full at 3-2. Something this Indian Hills team has done pretty well. They've made Gonerman throw a number of 2-2 counts, 3-2 counts. And that hits Renau in the hand. And that looked like that was painful. But he appears to be okay. You could hear that all the way up here. You could hear the hit of the ball on his hand, but looks like he's going to be okay. So good news there for Indian Hills. They do have a base runner with 2 outs. As Renau reaches first base. That'll bring up Lane Harvey. He flew out to right field his first time up. And with 2 outs, Gonerman will come after Harvey here in the 4th. And that's on the inside corner strike. Lane coming into this game, a .256 hitter. We're now over at first base. Is a threat to steal. He's stolen 11 bases. Only been caught twice. He's got a pretty good lead at first base. And Gonerman trying to hold him. He steps off and gives him a look. Still scoreless between MCC and Indian Hills. A key game in the conference race. As both these teams battling for second place. MCC held a 1-game lead coming into yesterday, and then Indian Hills with the sweep now holds a 1-game lead. So important, as that ball is a chopper down to third. It's going to go foul. So foul ball, as that was a foul ball from here. Wasn't that a foul ball? Harvey's coming back to the plate, right? Because that, it looked like it went around the left side of the bag. Although the third base coach is arguing that it hit the bag, maybe. And now Cam Walker's out there discussing with the home plate umpire, as he's saying that it went, looks like it went down around the left side of the bag and then came back fair, but after that it would already be a foul ball. So Harvey's still at the plate. And the runner's got to go back, and now Grant Walker back to the on-deck circle. As Embry was all over that. Not sure if Indian Hills was trying to be sneaky, probably just keeping everybody on base till they know for sure. And an 0-2 count here on Lane Harvey. Wouldn't be surprised to see Renau go on this pitch. And he is going to be sent back to the bag on a throw over. Donnerman just kind of tossed it over there. Probably can throw it a little bit harder to first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. So Harvey down swinging, and the top of the 4th inning is over as Indian Hills gets another base runner, but still without a hit as we go to the bottom of the 4th. For MCC, Indian Hills leaves another runner. And coming up for the Tigers, it'll be 4, 5, 6. Ceballos, Duran, and Rosauer. A good part of the order for MCC to try and break through against Michael Starcevich. Donnerman's pitching extremely well, but Starcevich is pitching pretty well himself. He had a runner on second, Bennett Lopez, with nobody out. Picked him off at second with Manny Lopez trying to bunt. And then Manny grounded a single deep in the hole that Jimenez couldn't throw him out. And Holtz grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. So Ceballos will lead it off against Starcevich. Starcevich has struck out 4. That was through the first 2 innings. He's retired. Well, he's only retired 2 in a row, but he hasn't faced. It was a 1-2-3 inning, but not your conventional 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. So Ceballos will bat. He struck out with a runner at second in the 1st inning. It was a 3-2 pitch, and he swung through a high fastball. And he takes outside a ball. It'll be Ceballos, Duran, and Rosauer. Duran singled in the 2nd inning as Ceballos takes ball 2 inside. So 2-0 count on Ceballos. Diohen coming in at 358. And that's going to catch the outside corner for a strike. Pretty good pitch there on the 2-0 count. Starcevich has done that a couple times. And now Ceballos launches this one to right center field. That's going to the fence. Ceballos on his way to second. And he's in there with a stand-up double. So Ceballos takes a 2-1 pitch to the right center field fence as he just drove it right into the gap, and that'll give Duran a chance with a runner in scoring position. MCC has stranded 2 so far, or 3 rather, and Indian Hills has made an error in each inning. So that'll bring up Duran. He's already singled. Had a single into left field his first time up. This time he'll probably just got to get that runner over to third with less than 2 outs any way you can here. And Duran showing bunt. And a throw behind the runner, and Ceballos just takes off, and he's safe. And is he going to hold at third? He is going to hold. As Ceballos read that beautifully. He was in all kinds of trouble if he went back to the bag. He just took off. And now Duran won't have to bunt because Ceballos is down at third base. So a stolen base for Ceballos. As by the time Walker toss that behind Jimenez, as Indian Hills is going to bring the infield in. So any hard hit ball should get through unless you hit it right at somebody. And that's in the dirt. Ceballos holds at third on a good block by Walker. As Duran a chance to give the Tigers the lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rosauer on deck. 1-1 count here on Luis. He's driven in 37 on the year. And he takes low for a ball. So a 2-1 count now. Duran has 58 hits, 16 doubles, 2 home runs, or 2 triples and 3 home runs. A fly ball here would probably give the Tigers the lead. And he does just that as he hits it to center. Shaw is getting under it. There's going to be a play at the plate. Shaw's throw, it's coming to the plate. Ceballos is going to be safe. So a sacrifice fly as the throw is on line, but just a little bit up the third baseline as Indian Hills will check to see if Ceballos left early, and the home plate umpire says no. And that's a sacrifice fly for Luis Duran. So a sac fly for Duran, and he'll get an RBI. And it's 1-0 Tigers as Rosauer fouls the first pitch out of play. Good at bat by Luis Duran. Did exactly what he had to do. After Ceballos double and then heads up base running to take third. And now Rosauer tries to get a bunt down with Harvey playing back, but he fouls it off. Good idea, though, because Harvey's playing way back at the bag. Rosauer gets that down. He's probably going to beat it. And now 0-2 on Joel, as that's in the dirt. It's like a breaking ball slider, probably, from Starcevic. Rosauer's first time up, he struck out. Trying to avoid his second strikeout of the day here. And that's high and inside a ball. So Rosauer back in with a 2-2 count. And he chops this one down the first baseline, and that's going to roll foul. He got jammed on that pitch, but he was able to just kind of chop it foul. So 2-2 count with 1 out, 1-0 MCC. And Rosauer takes in the dirt. Good eye there. That same pitch he struck out on. Able to lay off of it this time and get to a 3-2 count. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Rosauer takes high for ball 4. So he walks him after being ahead in the count. And with 1 out, Hunter Embre will come to the plate. He reached on an error his first time up, as Basabi couldn't handle a hard ground ball. As Starcevic throws over and Rosauer back. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Embre at the plate, Hopwood on deck. Rosauer leading from first. And that's in the dirt. Starcevic having trouble throwing that pitch for a strike. For the most part, he's thrown that one right in the dirt. When he has thrown it for a strike, it's been a tough pitch to hit. Here's the 1-0 count on Embre. Swings and misses. Looked like a similar pitch there. He got Embre to chase. Now the count is even at 1-1. It appears Starcevic might be throwing a sinker. As he checks Rosauer. Now he's coming to the plate. Embre flies it to right. On is Nelson. Come in a few steps. He'll make the catch. And that's out number 2. So Nelson makes the catch. And that'll bring up Hopwood with 2 outs. as Hopwood stands in. Rosauer at first base. MCC leading 1-0. Hopwood grounds towards third. That'll kick foul. And he's behind in the count 0-1. He struck out swinging his first time up. He was part of back-to-back strikeouts with Ventura. Rosauer struck out, earned a walk. This time as Hopwood, a good swing there. But he's behind in the count, 0-2. So 0-2 count on Hopwood, trying to avoid his second strikeout. He struck out 7 times on the year. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He'll lay off the high fastball. And it's 1-2. This is the time where Starcevich has tried to throw that breaking ball. Started on the outside corner and break it off the plate. Or he's thrown it in the dirt as Rosauer back safely on the throw over. A little bit closer that time. Starcevich has already picked off 1 base runner. He picked off Bennett Lopez at second base. And now he strikes out Hopwood to end the inning. So Hopwood down swinging. And after 4, MCC on the board. The Tigers have the lead as they get 1 hit. And that's enough to get a run home. They do leave another runner, but they have a 1-0 lead as we head in to the top of the 5th inning. And Gonerman back out to pitch. He'll have to deal with Grant Walker, Ryan Scholl, and Luis Jimenez. So Gonerman back to the mound. He's held Indian Hills intact so far. He hasn't allowed a whole lot. Given up 3 base runners so far. 1 reached on an error and 2 walks. Well, he's actually given up 4 base runners because he also hit Noah Renau, but other than that, he's been pretty good. Indian Hills had that opportunity in the first inning where they had runners on second and third with 1 out. Wyatt Olson struck out and Jacob Rhinesmith grounded out. And that's really been the only threat they've had this entire game. So Grant Walker will stand in. He walked on a 3-2 pitch his first time up. As Gonerman back to work here in the top of the 5th inning. It's been a pitcher's duel. It's 1-0 Tigers. As Gonerman just misses off the corner. And the count is 1-0. Now he hammers this one to deep left field. Ceballos on the run. Now Ventura calls him off and they collide. Ventura and Ceballos collide. Walker's coming to third. Here's the throw. And he's in there with a triple. And Ventura seems to be hurt. As Ceballos and Ventura collided. And they're going to have to go out and check on Ventura. As it looked like it appeared that Ventura was going to call it off and make the catch, but then Ceballos kept on coming as Gonerman and a lot of the Tigers out to check on Brian Ventura as they were both running full speed for the baseball. Ceballos coming from left field towards center, then Ventura coming. And it almost looked like Ceballos was going to pull off, but then he kept coming. And Ventura ran right into Ceballos. See if Ventura is able to stay in the game or not. That hit by Walker went as an error. So an E8 and a triple as Rich Greif and Tanner McLaughlin out there to check on Ventura. Looks like he's okay, as he's going to try to walk it off. That's scary when you see those collisions out in the outfield. And now Indian Hills has a runner with nobody out at third base. So the good news is Ventura seems to be okay. And Ceballos also, who collided. Ventura took the worst of it. But both guys seem to be okay, so that's good news. The bad news is Grant Walker is now standing at third base with nobody out. MCC with a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up Ryan Shaw. Yesterday, Indian Hills did try a suicide squeeze play. Actually, that was the Tigers. Like one of the trainers was out there checking on Ventura. And is just missing low is Gonerman to Shaw. And a 1-0 count. MCC playing the infield in. Here against Shaw. He lines it over. Lopez makes a leaping catch. And Shaw is retired. He hit that one right on the button, but right at Bennett Lopez. And that's one away. So one out here in the fifth. As Jimenez coming to the plate, he's having a chat with his manager through the fence. Wonder if he's talking about possibly putting Jimenez on. It looks like they are going to pitch to him. Well, if you put him on, he's probably going to steal second base, so he's probably not the type of guy you want to put on. The corner's playing in. As Embre able to keep that in front of him. It almost got by him. He's able to keep that pitch from getting by him, and now Greif is going to come out and talk to Colton Gonerman. So Gonerman, Embre, and Greif are going to meet on the mound. Top of the fifth inning, 1-0 Tigers, one out. Luis Jimenez at the plate. He's grounded out to third twice. On third base is Grant Walker, as he had a three-base error. Reached on a three-base error when Brian Ventura and Diogen Ceballos collided in left center field. Scholl lined out. There's one out in the inning. So Gonerman, see what he does here with Jimenez. Even though they've gotten Jimenez twice, he's a dangerous hitter. He hasn't driven in a whole lot of runs, only 16, but he's normally the guy getting driven in. He's scored 36 runs. And the 1-0 pitch is lined down the left field line, but it's going to curve foul. And the count is even at 1-1. Now Jimenez put a good swing on that, but he hooked it foul. Walker's still over at third base. 1-1 count here on Jimenez, and he's behind in the count 1-2. As he couldn't get a hold of that. Appeared to be a slider. And a strikeout here would be huge. You keep that runner at third and get the second out. That would be a big time pitch for Gonerman. Here it is. He misses high and outside the ball. Trying to get Jimenez the chase. Jimenez has struck out 17 times. He doesn't strike out a lot, but he will if he can put the pitch in the right location. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. He's just able to foul it off, and Embre couldn't come up with the catch. It just got over his glove. So 2-2. They've been working Jimenez away. Did he come back inside with something, or did he stay away again here on the 2-2 pitch? Here it comes. He fouls that one straight back. So Jimenez has been on a couple pitches the last few by Gonerman, as that was probably his best swing outside the one that he hit foul down the line. Try and get him maybe to chase a breaking ball. He's kind of in swing mode. And he lines this one to Duran, and that's the second out of the inning. A soft line drive. And there's 2 away, and that runner's still at third base. So what looked like a sure thing, Grant Walker at third with nobody out. You think he'd probably score. The Tigers get a line out from Scholl and then a line out from Jimenez. And Nelson will bat. He's flown out to left and walked. So Gonerman almost out of this jam. He misses outside there for ball 1. Coming after Dylan Nelson. He swings and misses for a strike. That was a good breaking ball, just disappeared into the dirt. And Nelson chased it. So 1-1 count. This would be a huge momentum swing for the Tigers, with Indian Hills having a runner on third with nobody out and not being able to score. And that's on the outside corner, strike 2. So Gonerman just 1 pitch away from stranding Walker at third. Nelson, a pretty good hitter. He doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play. And here it comes. He fouls this one down the left field side, and that's out of play. So we'll stay 1-2 as Nelson hangs around. Gonerman trying to keep Walker at third base. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's grounded back through the middle. Lopez picks, throws, got him at first. And Nelson is retired. Nice play by Manny Lopez. And stuck at third base is Grant Walker. And still without a hit, the Indian Hills Falcons. So they leave 1 as we head in to the bottom of the 5th inning. They got a runner on third with nobody out. Walker was on third with nobody out after the collision in the outfield. And Gonerman comes up big and keeps Walker right there. Coming up for the Tigers in the bottom of the 5th inning, Brian Ventura, Bennett Lopez, and Manny Lopez. And it was Manny Lopez coming up with the big play there. Yesterday he had a little bit of trouble fielding some ground balls, but came up big on that occasion. Just picked it and threw Nelson out at first base. So 1-0 Tigers as we go into the bottom of the 5th inning. As Brian Ventura will lead it off. He struck out swinging his first time up. Starcevich has only allowed the 1 run, which was a sacrifice fly by Luis Duran after a double by Ceballos. He stole third base on kind of a weird play. They had him picked off. Walker threw to second. Ceballos took off for third. He made it safely, and then later in the at-bat, Luis Duran hit a fly ball deep enough to center to score Ceballos as Ventura shows bunt and misses for strike 1. So 0-1 count here on Ventura. As he takes his time getting back into the box. And Starcevich ready to pitch, and he throws that one low for a ball. So 1-1 here on Ventura. Shows bunt again and misses again. So he's tried to drag bunt a couple of times and hasn't been able to put the bat on the ball. So Ventura behind in the count, 1-2. And he's able to just get a piece of that one and foul it off. And he'll stay in the count, 1-2. So just what you want him to do, just hang alive. Hang around and get another pitch from Starcevic. And he takes right on the outside corner and strikes out looking. So Ventura down looking for the first out of the inning. Don't know if he agreed with the call, but he's back to the dugout. So that'll bring up Bennett Lopez. The Tigers' second baseman is grounded out to second. He reached on an error as that misses for ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's low, ball two. So 2-0 on Bennett Lopez. He reached on the error by Lane Harvey. Made it to second base, but then he got picked off second base. And he takes that fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Starcevic has gotten in a few 2-0 counts, but every time he's thrown a pretty good pitch in an area where he can't get hurt. Now he misses, and it's 3-1. There's no action in the Indian Hills bullpen or the MCC bullpen. There's the 3-1 pitch. Lopez swings, lines it into center. Back is Jimenez, and Basabe can't get it as they collide out in short center field. They appear to be okay as both of them are going full speed after it. And they are okay. Jimenez lost his hat. He's got it in his hand. And he does call time as he's going to take a second. That's going to be a single for Bennett Lopez. That's a very tough play. Jimenez and Basabe both going back on the ball. And they both kept coming, and that's the second collision we've seen in this fifth inning. MCC had a collision out in the outfield between Ventura and Ceballos. And now Basabe and Jimenez collide in short center field for Indian Hills. They both appear to be okay. Lopez swings, drives it through the left side. Nice diving stop. But he's not going to have a play, and Manny Lopez is 3 for 3. So Lopez now 3 for 3. And Logan Holtz, he's due. He's 0 for 2 here today. He's flown out to center, and he's grounded out to second. He's an aggressive hitter. He likes to swing early in the count. Doesn't wait around. If he gets his pitch, he's going to let it fly. So 1 out, runners on first and second. Now time is called. And Cam Walker will head out and talk to his pitcher, Starcevic. So Holtz at the plate with 1 out. 1-0 MCC. The only run of the game so far, coming on a sacrifice fly by Luis Duran. MCC has out-hit Indian Hills 6-0. So Colton Gonerman has things going here for MCC. Pitching a terrific game. Now the Tigers with a chance to, if you can get a couple more runs, you would think you'd be in good shape, because the way Gonerman's pitching, it's going to take more than just, the old bloop and the blast. So you want to be, if you're up by 1, you're only a bloop and a blast away from losing. If you get up by 3, you'd like to be up by 4, because then you'd get out of grand slam range, but at least make it 2 or 3 runs, something more than 1. So 1-0 Tigers is the first pitch to Holtz. He can't hold back. And he's down a strike. Bennett Lopez at second. He singled. And Manny Lopez also singled. Manny's got 3 of the Tigers' 6 hits. As Holtz takes, that gets away. Bennett and Manny will advance. Walker thought about throwing down to second, but he doesn't. And now Holtz with a chance. Just a long fly ball gets at least 1 home. A base hit, you could score 2. So Holtz will step out. 1-1 count. Indian Hills will bring the infield in one more time. So a hard ground ball, unless it's right at somebody, should find a hole. Starcevich pitch. It's grounded right to Jimenez. And the one spot you didn't want it to go, as Holtz down on the ground out. He hit it hard. Unfortunately, just right at Jimenez. If you hit it a little to the left, maybe a little to his right, it might get through there. And now the Tigers need a 2-out hit to extend this lead. 1-0 MCC in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ceballos has struck out and doubled. He scored the only run. Starcevich throws on the inside half of the plate and misses down. So 1-0 here on Ceballos. He's got 2 runners that he's trying to drive in. He grounds it towards third. Harvey plays it on the hop. Long throw across. Olsen scoops, and Ceballos is retired. And it will remain a 1-0 game at the end of 5 as Ceballos rounds out. The Tigers do get a couple hits, but can't bring them across. And they leave 2 more. So after 5 innings, 1-0 MCC leading Indian Hills. You hope those 2 runs, those runs that you couldn't get in, don't come back to haunt you. As Gonnerman back to the mound, he'll face Basabe, Olsen, and Rhinesmith. So still just a 1-0 game. So every pitch meaning something. As we start the top of the 6th inning, Basabe reached on an error and he struck out. That's been it. For Olsen, he struck out and popped out to Embray, the catcher. And Rhinesmith has grounded out to second and lined out to center. So Gonnerman back to the mound. As he's pitched a great game here for the Tigers. He hadn't really had a lot of strikeouts, only 3. As Basabe comes to the plate. So Basabe at the plate. As Gonnerman misses the outside corner for ball 1. So still only a 1-0 game. If MCC gets this one, they would be in a dead tie with Indian Hills for second place. Then we'd have one more game to decide second place in game number 2. That's what the Tigers want. What Indian Hills wants is to rally and come back and clinch the second seed now. Colton Gonnerman has got that strike on the outside corner. Basabe shaking his head. Don't think he agreed with that call as he steps out. Now a 2-1 count. That's on the outside corner, strike 2. So after falling behind 2-0, Gonnerman has evened the count at 2-2. Looking for his 4th strikeout. And Basabi lines it to short. Lopez fields, long throw. He got him by a step. Basabi retired as he's saying that Hopwood pulled his foot. But no argument coming from the bench. I did hear, I don't know, like I heard somebody on the Indian Hills side yell he pulled his foot, but the call stands. So 1 out here in the 6th, and that'll bring up the dangerous Wyatt Olson. As Gonerman coming after him, and he gets a good breaking ball in for a strike. So he gets ahead of Olson 0-1. And he misses the outside corner for ball 1. A 1-1 count here on Olson. He struck out and popped out. And misses high for ball 2. A 2-1 count. As Gonerman will slow things down here. And that ball is hammered into left field. Ceballos on the run. He can't get it. That's the first hit of the ball game for Indian Hills. As Gonerman gives up his first hit here in the 6th inning. And it's a big one as Olson doubles. But quite the effort for Colton Gonerman as Embre will come out and give him some last minute tips here. Just because you lost the no-hitter, still got to get this victory. So he no-hits Indian Hills for 5 1/3. Olson breaks it up here in the 6th. Now Rhinesmith at the plate. He swings and misses for a strike. Good breaking ball in the inner half. Rhinesmith swung right through it. As J.D. Barr is hustling down the right side, like he's going to begin warming up. He's the Tigers' closer. Olson leading from second, and Gonerman's going to look him back, although Olson doesn't even go back to second base. With Bennett Lopez playing way off towards the right side. No one's behind Olson. As that gets away from Embre, the runner's coming to third. And now Olson's on third base. Or no, they're going to say it hit him. Or no, now the umpire is saying that did not hit Rhinesmith. He's going to say if it hit Rhinesmith, then the runner's got to go back to second base. And Rhinesmith's saying it did hit him. I couldn't tell if it hit him or not. But the ball got away. And the umpire says no, the ball didn't hit Rhinesmith. It is a ball, so 1-1 count. A few crazy plays in this game. We've had some collisions. And that misses high and outside a ball. A loud crowd on hand to watch this key battle. And that gets away from Embre just barely as the runner was getting ready to come, and now the count is 3-1. A lot of noise being made from what appears to be the Indian Hills dugout. And now a 3-1 count. He swings and misses strike 2. So the count is full at 3-2. Indian Hills had already stranded one runner down at third base here today. Gonerman trying to make it a second. And he got him looking. Strike 3 called. And Rhinesmith is not pleased with that call as he walks back to the dugout. A perfect pitch there from Gonerman. Rhinesmith down looking as he puts it on the inside corner right at the knees, and Renaud is up. The Tigers trying to hold Olson at third base. And that's on the outside corner, strike. So he's ahead of Renal now, 0-1. Olson doubled, moved to third on the wild pitch, and Renal down on the count, 0-2. So Gonnerman 1 strike away from stranding stranding a runner at third base in back-to-back innings. So Gonnerman trying to get through the sixth. The 0-2 pitch coming to Renal. Here it is. And he just missed upstairs. Gonnerman wanted that call. He looked like he was headed for the dugout. And now he misses outside, and the count is even at 2-2. So 2-2 here on Renal. He's driven in 15 on the year. They're trying to get Renal here and leave Olson at third base. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's popped up in the air. Lopez is under it. He'll take a couple steps back, make the catch, and Olson will be stranded, and the Tigers will take a 1-0 lead in to the bottom of the sixth inning. So Renal pops out. The first hit, though, for Indian Hills, a double by Wyatt Olson, ends the no-hit bid. But the shutout still intact for the Tigers, Colton Gonnerman, as MCC trying to get this one here and force it into a do-or-die game for second place, which would be our game number 2 of this doubleheader, as J.D. Barr is warming up for MCC. The way Gonnerman has pitched, I don't know what you would think, if you would go to Barr or not, or if you'd give Gonnerman a chance to finish off the shutout. Those are the tough decisions that the head coach has to make. And Rich Greif will have a difficult decision to make coming up in this 7th inning. The same pitcher on the mound for Indian Hills, as Starcevich has pitched well. He's only allowed the 1 run. It's been a great pitcher's duel here between Gonnerman and Starcevich. And Luis Duran will lead it off for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Joel Rosauer and Hunter Embray. Duran's got a single, and he drove in the only run so far of the game on a sacrifice fly. MCC has out-hit Indian Hills 6-1. So Duran at the plate, facing Starcevich for the 3rd time. He's already had a couple of good at-bats against him. This is where you'd like to get maybe one more run, where you can't just give up as Basavi tried to make a sliding stop, and it's going to get off his glove and go into the outfield. We'll see if that's an error or a hit. That'll be a hit for Duran, his 2nd of the game. Now with Rosauer up, you got to think he's got to be bunting here. Try and move Duran into scoring position. Harvey thinks he's bunting as he's playing in at the grass. Rosauer shows bunt, now pulls back. That's where you got to be careful. Some teams like to run the old play where the second baseman will sneak in behind the runner at first. When the first baseman and third baseman break, you don't realize he's behind you and you get picked off. So Duran has to be careful over there. And Rosauer almost got the bunt down, but it goes foul. This is where you got to get this bunt down if you're MCC. They've had a couple times where they've been unable to get the sacrifice bunt down. Rosauer, a pretty good bunter. See if he can execute here. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-0 Tigers, leading the Falcons. Rosauer showing bunt. It's a high fastball. He pulls back, and that's ball 2. And now 2-1. Hunter Embre's on deck. He's reached on an error and flew out to right. Rosauer shows bunt early, and he gets it down, and it's right back to the pitcher. Starcevich thought about going to second, and then he takes the out. So good job by Rosauer. He gets the sacrifice. He's retired on the 1-3. And going down to second is Luis Duran.
Now batting, number 30, Hunter Embre.
So Hunter Embre will bat here with one out and a runner in scoring position. Duran gets a good jump on a base hit. He could score. As Starcevich coming to the plate, and he hits the inside corner for a strike. Right across the knees there. That low strike at times today has been called pretty consistently by the home plate umpire. The same pitch that Gonerman got as Embre slashes this one towards third. Harvey's throw to first is in time, and there's two away. The two outs here in the bottom of the sixth. And that'll bring up Brock Hopwood. A chance to get a big RBI hit here. Hopwood has struck out twice. That'll be the perfect time to get his third RBI. Well, actually, it'd be his third RBI as he swings through that pitch on the outside. And he's behind in the count 0-1. J.D. Barr still loosening in the MCC bullpen. As Hopwood takes the strike, he thought it was low. And that's where the home plate umpire strike zone has been here today. And an 0-2 count on Hopwood. Just trying to find a hole. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He takes high for ball. So 1-2. Ventura on deck. Luis Duran out at second base. He singled to lead off the inning. Rosauer bunted him to second. Embre bounced out to third. And now Hopwood here at the plate. Looking for a two-out hit to try and make the score 2-0. He swings and misses for strike three. So we'll head to the seventh. MCC leading Indian Hills 1-0, and it will be the Tigers closer coming on as J.D. Barr will be coming into this ball game. We'll take a break. MCC leading Indian Hills after 6 innings, 1-0. You're watching MCC Baseball on the Tiger Sports Network.
Hi, my name is John Magnuson. I'm a freshman middle infielder from Waterloo, Iowa.
Hi, my name is Daniel Love. I'm from Dorado, Puerto Rico. I play second base and I'm sophomore.
Hi, my name is Brian Ventura from Carolina, Puerto Rico, center field, sophomore.
My name is Logan Holtz. I'm a sophomore from Urbana, Iowa, and I play right field.
My name is Caleb Hanks. I'm a freshman outfielder from Sioux City, Iowa.
Welcome back to Shawn Williams Field. Andy Jennings with you on the Tiger Sports Network. MCC's closer on to try and shut the door. J.D. Barr on for Colton Gonerman, who went 6 innings. He struck out. Well, he struck out 1. He struck out 4. And he struck out 4 in the game, but held Indian Hills hitless till the 6th inning, allowing his first hit to the second man batting, Wyatt Olson, in the 6th inning, a double. But he was able to strand Olson at third. And now Barr on to try and shut the door. Lane Harvey, Grant Walker, and Ryan Scholl. It's the bottom of the order coming up for Indian Hills. So if you're Barr, you got to go right after him. JD on the season, he's got a 3.98 ERA. He's had 6 saves. In 20 1/3 innings, he's allowed 19 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned runs, struck out 20, walked 8. So Barr will try and shut the door here in Game 1. with MCC leading 1-0. Gonerman allows just the one hit, as Harvey will come to the plate. Only a 1-0 game, so there's no wiggle room here for J.D. Barr, as he throws that one straight into the dirt. And ball one, where you got to come out throwing strikes. I'm sure he's amped up here. You don't want to put anyone up on via the free pass. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Harvey, and that's in there, a strike. 1-1. Top of the 7th inning, 1-0 MCC. Trying to get back into a tie for second place. That's in there, strike 2. A win here would push them to 11-11. It would make Indian Hills 11-11 also. As that pitch is hit to left field, on is Hanks. As he came in for Ceballos, he'll make the catch. So Caleb Hanks retires Harvey, and there's one away. So Hanks is now in left field. As Grant Walker, who was at third base with nobody out, he led off the fourth, or he led off one of the innings with a triple. It was a 3-base error to lead off the 5th, but he was stranded at third base. He slashes this one foul out the play, now on the right side, and it's 1-1. That was in the 5th inning, and then Wyatt Olson was at third base with one out, and that's on the inside corner for a strike. So 1-2 now here on Grant Walker, as Barr trying to notch the second out here in the 7th. He shakes off Embre a couple times. Now he's got what he wants. Here's the pitch, and he got him looking. So Walker down looking, and MCC just one out away here from getting game 1 on this Sunday. Ryan Shaw will bat, the final hope for Indian Hills. So Shaw at the plate. Duran will play in at the grass, as Barr trying to shut the door on the Falcons. And a 1-0 count. This will be his 7th save. A 1-0 now on Shaw. You'd like to end it here and avoid facing Luis Jimenez. If you're a Tiger, you're probably like, let's face Jimenez in the first inning of game 2. And Shaw, ground ball to second. Lopez on, he throws to first, and he's out. And J.D. Barr converts the save as MCC wins a thriller 1-0. The only run coming on a sacrifice fly by Luis Duran after a double by Diogen Ceballos. Duran's sacrifice fly got him home, and the Tigers get 6 great innings from Colton Gonerman as he holds Indian Hills without a hit for 5 1/3, and just allows the one hit, and J.D. Barr shuts the door and gets the save in the 7th. So we will have everything on the line as both these teams, one of the teams will get to be home next Friday, and the other will be the visiting team next Friday. It won't be a home game, but you'll bat second. If the winner of this one will be the second place team in the conference. So 1-0 MCC gets the victory. Luis Duran just an RBI sac fly, and Colton Gonerman gives the Tigers 6 great innings. Barr gets his 7th save of the year. MCC gets it done 1-0. We'll have game 2 coming up for you. I'm Andy Jennings, and you're watching MCC Baseball on the Tiger Sports Network.
The first thing I remember is the game that I love. A man on a diamond with a golden glove. Daddy Daddy with me in the cheap seats above, saying, boy, keep